Some of the text in these videos that I'm making have a kind of written form in a blog that kind of parallels these videos, sort of. And I'm thinking about the difference between that literary form, the blog, in which periodic changes are made or updates or kind of entries are made across a period of often quite an extended period of time, and a typical book. And by typical I mean kind of prototypical, a book that aspires to the condition of an object. It has a sense of permanence and non-changingness about it. Perhaps most clearly understood in terms of like the doctoral thesis or the conference paper or the academic article, that kind of or the authorized book, peer-reviewed book, that kind of thing, in which the information in it is kind of demonstrated in its solidity by its existence between the hard covers of this book. If we could think about that as a kind of prototypical knowledge object, knowledge form, I'm thinking about how blog writing, and by extension this kind of video blog writing, how that differs from that. And one of the ways I think it does differ is that when you read a book, particularly an academic book, there's this sense that it's all of a piece, it's all been written at one go, in a sense. Baby guy, come on! There's a feeling that it's kind of all been put together the night before almost. It's been drafted over long periods of time and rewritten and consistently rewritten, and all the threads have been drawn together, and it has a kind of wholeness, a kind of consistency, which that redrafting process has conferred upon it, so that the knowledge that the author has gained through the process of writing has informed the rewriting constantly. So all of the information that the author possessed at the end of that writing process informs the whole of the writing, from the first word to the last. It feels like it's been written the night before, and it has that kind of holistic, object-like quality as a result. Blogs don't do that, diaries don't do that. Typically diaries are not rewritten and redrafted. People don't usually go over blogs to make sure that their early entries are as well informed as their later entries. It doesn't really make sense to do that. They change as times change, and they kind of keep step with the cultural events around them, the social circumstances in which the blog writer is operating, and the changing level and changing focus of the blog writer's knowledge. So it wouldn't really make sense to go back and redraft the blog in the light of later understandings. So those kind of mechanistic differences, I think, also confer kind of conceptual differences or metaphorical differences on those two writing forms. If the book is a kind of prototypical object, an object that exists at the end of a journey, one goes out on this journey of discovery, a journey of making explicit, and then arriving at the end of that journey, one finds at the end of that journey or places at the end of that journey the accumulated object, which is this knowledge object, this book. If that's a kind of prototypical example of a book in relation to making explicit, then blogs are not about that. Blogs are about this progress. Really. They focus not on the arrival, not on the getting there, but on the not on the arrival, but on the getting there. I think there's also a thing to do with a kind of visual metaphor playing itself out there as well. When you approach an objective book, that prototypical object that I've spoken about, in a sense you stand where the book stands. You get the viewpoint of the book, which might be an elevated overview viewpoint, but nevertheless is a viewpoint. And that viewpoint is very clearly articulated, and it's usually stationary. you get the sense that this is where the book is locating you in knowledge space. Blogs don't do that. Blogs typically, almost by definition really, take you on a journey. They move you through knowledge space, and that knowledge space is continually changing, just as the viewpoint that I have on the world around me whilst I'm walking and doing this talking is constantly changing. Different things come into alignment, different experiences arise and fall away, different sentiments become expressed. Come on, pups, get the way. Good girl, good boy. Just get out of the way because there was a bicycle coming past. Baby guy, come on. So in that regard, I think there is a connection, or a shared metaphor in which books and blogs both occupy a kind of knowledge space. But the knowledge space of the book, the prototypical book, the doctoral thesis, the academic article, the peer-reviewed article, the conference paper, the knowledge space that occupies is one which is fixed. Which is sort of out there. You go over there, you stand where the book is, and experience the kind of experience knowledge space from the place that the book locates you, and it has a sort of stationary, fixed quality to it. The relationship between the blog and knowledge space is one of changing viewpoints, one of progress over time and over space, one of accumulation and a falling away, and one in which redrafting doesn't really make a lot of sense.